Hello everyone. Today I will be teaching you all the economy basics and how you'll create the best economy in the game. The video will be split in 5 sections. If you want to just learn one part in particular, then feel free to skip to it. However, watching the full video will make you a full genius in the economic part of the game. The different sections will be 1. Resource management. Learn how to identify and prioritize the resources your nation needs most. 2. Building plan. Strategically plan your infrastructure to match your military ambitions. Learn how to maximize the output of armed and local industries. 3. Annexation and invasion. Harness the power of annexation and understand the rewards of successful invasions. 4. Upkeep and population. Manage your daily costs and population to maintain a strong economy. 5. Market mastery. Navigate the in-game market effectively to buy and sell resources like a pro. Section 1. Resource management. In this section, we'll delve into the art of identifying and prioritizing the critical resources in conflict of nations, World War III. Understanding these resources is the cornerstone of building a thriving economy. Let's start by taking a closer look at the essential resources your nation relies on. In conflict of nations, your nation's success hinges on key resources such as fuel, electronics, components, supplies, rare materials, and manpower. Each resource serves a unique and vital role which will be explained in continuation. Here's a brief overview of each resource in conflict of nations, World War III, and how they contribute to your nation's success in the game. 1. Fuel. Fuel is essential for your military units and vehicles. It powers tanks, aircraft, ships, and other machinery. Without sufficient fuel, your military operations will be severely limited. You won't be able to build any buildings, arm industries, airports, or more. It is vital to keep an eye all the time on it. You will most often have a scarcity of fuel in early game, and if you are not actively conquering territory, you will have a negative production rate, heavily affecting your gameplay. 2. Electronics. Electronics are essential. You need it for nearly every unit. It is indispensable whether you are focusing on a hard supply build or in a high component build. You will always need electronics. Without electronics, you can't produce or build technology. It is essential to always keep an eye on it and focus if low on it, since it can delay your production massively. Electronics can be a problem from early game to end game depending on the nation you are playing. 3. Components. Components are the building blocks of complex machinery and weapons. They're essential if you plan on focusing Navy or Air Force or tanks. You mostly need them mid/end game unless you plan to build Navy very quickly. 4. Supplies. Supplies are essential if you are focusing on building units such as support units, submarines, helicopters, missiles, and even on researching units. If you fall low on these, it can drastically push you back. Same as electronics, supplies can be a problem from early game to end game depending on the nation you are playing. 5. Rare materials. Rare materials are valuable for research and development. These are indispensable if you don't want to fall behind in the game. You want to make sure you have everything leveled up and are always researching. Rare materials are most often a problem early mid-game, and end-game you already have more than sufficient. 6. Manpower. Manpower represents your nation's workforce. It is the population available for various roles, from infantry to specialized units, to ships. Every unit you produce will require some amount of manpower, even infantry. You need to make sure that you never fall back on this. It can completely stop your production of units. The best counter to never lack manpower is to always be conquering territory, since territory equals manpower. If you are actively conquering territory, you will have a sustainable amount of manpower. Mostly visible on the end game when you have a lot of units, which takes manpower, but as long as you are actively conquering territory, it shouldn't be a problem. Some other advice to get the best of your economy is to tailor your resources to your needs. For example, if you want to build a huge navy, then you are going to have to level up your component production. Same goes if you are focusing on building support units. You are going to need a massive supply production. Additionally, you want to check your rare materials, electronics, and fuel production and make sure to upgrade them and never fall behind. Another valuable suggestion I can give to you is that as soon as you start a game, you check what you produce more, supplies or components. If it's supplies, then you may want to make a heavy supply unit focused production, like building SAMs, multiple rocket launchers, helicopters, etc., and vice versa. In this case, in this Indonesia game, we can see we have a higher rate of supplies, therefore I will make my build more supply-centered. Lastly, a very valuable tip I can give you that will help you build a stable economy is to focus on everything reaching 100 exchange per hour in your economy. If you manage to have everything above 100 per hour early game, you are doing amazing. You can also see which resources are producing the lowest per hour and prioritize those. For example, here in the Indonesia game, we can see that no resource is above 100, therefore we want to build on each city. We can also see that all the resources apart from supplies are quite low, therefore we want to build up the cities that are producing those resources so that we reach a 100 exchange per hour. Amazing! Now that you know the different types of materials and what you should focus on, you can now learn city development and how to maximize your resource production rate. Have you ever experienced a negative production or a low production of a certain material? Well, in this section you are going to learn how to stop that and instead get the best economy you can possibly achieve and the best way to optimize your city buildings. Let's explore the backbone of the economy. All the resources except manpower and money at the start of the game that are produced either come from homeland cities or from provinces with a production of resources. The spectacular part is that there is a way to leverage this and improve the production of each of those resources by more than 100%. There is two types of buildings you can build to maximize the resources output: arms industries and local industries. Firstly, let's explore the benefits and strategies behind arms industries. Arms industries are a building that you can build in either homeland cities or in annexed cities, and here is the beauty of it. There is two types of buildings you can build to maximize the resources output: arms industries and local industries. As you can see in this example, a level 1 arms industry contributes 10% more of the amount of these resources. But here's the beauty of it, it doesn't stop there. As you upgrade your arms industries, the resource production increases significantly. At level 2, your arms industry contributes 20% more of the amount of these resources. At level 3, it contributes 30% and so on. Then at level 5, when the arms industry is fully maxed out, it will contribute you 50% more of the amount of these resources. This is 50% more production from the city than you had at the start. Therefore, it is an indispensable need to build arms industries. Just with this, your economy will soar. Now let's explore the strategic placement of arms industries. You may not always have the resources to keep leveling up arms industries in each homeland city, therefore you want to prioritize building arms industries in the resources you need. For example, you may be going with a heavy component build. In this case, you want to prioritize maximizing your components city arms industry, the city that produces components. Then quickly level up and max the arms industry there before upgrading others. Additionally, at early game you want to make sure to not build arms industries in cities that have a risk of being taken, since if you get attacked and the city gets captured, the resources will be put at waste. Even if you recapture it, you will have to spend resources on rebuilding it. Now let's talk about maximizing your resources in local industries. It is basically the same as arms industries, but the gains of building a local industry are even higher. Let's first learn how to identify a province where you should build a local industry. To identify where you should build local industries, you want to look for a province that has a resource icon over it. For example, here in this province, Kanathio, Thailand, we can see there is a component icon, therefore the province must be producing components. To double check that the province produces resources, you can also click on the province and see if it has a resource production, which will appear next to the manpower it generates, as you can see here. As you can see, this province produces 82 amount of components daily. Whereas if you click in other provinces, nothing of a resource production appears. Now if we build a local industry level 1 here, it will increase the production of this by 100%. This is literally double of what it is producing. It is amazing investment. Then for level 2, 150%, and for level 3, 200%. By maxing a local industry, you get 200% more than the original products. You absolutely want to build local industries at least level 1 on provinces that produce resources in your homeland. However, you want to make sure you build the local industry on a province that produces a resource. If not, then the local industry won't do anything. Now, the strategy of it is basically the same as with ARM industries. Make sure to prioritize upgrading and maxing out local industries and provinces that produce the resource you need the most. Amazing! Now you know how to make the best out of your economy and what to build to upgrade your economy. To enhance our economy even further, let's learn about the benefits of annexation and invasion. In this section, we'll explore two crucial aspects of expanding your nation's reach in Conflict of Nations, World War III, invasion and annexation. Mastering these techniques can propel your nation to new heights. Let's begin with invasion. Invasion is vital to this game and is the factor that will boost your economy the most. Even if you have the best buildings, biggest homeland city production, it still won't reach anywhere near the benefits of invasion. Let's start by discussing the power of invasion and the rewards it brings to your nation. Invasion is a bold move that can lead to great rewards. It's a strategic decision that can shape the destiny of your nation. When you invade a city, you gain a portion of its daily production output. This can significantly boost your resource reserves. For example, by invading Bucharest, I now receive 217 supplies, which is added to my daily productions. Now imagine you invaded 10 of these cities. That is 2,170 supplies daily added to your daily production. That is more resources than your homeland cities produce. The more cities you conquer, the bigger your economy is, and if you are advancing very swiftly in conquering cities, you'll see that you will never run out of any resources. Therefore, be sure to always be conquering territory and advancing swiftly through the map. This will not only increase your economy resources, but also take you closer to winning the game. Another amazing strategy you can utilize whilst invading that will give you extra resources is to invade cities, and then, if it has any buildings left in it, then demolish them. This will give you a percentage of the building cost, giving you extra resources. For example, here I conquered Bucharest and the city has a level 2 airbase, which I don't need. Therefore, I will hit demolish. Boom, as you can see, it gave me extra resources. Now imagine doing this for every city you invade. The resources you'll receive will be amazing. Now, let's talk about annexation, another powerful way to expand your nation's territory and influence. Annexation is the process of bringing new cities under your nation's control. It's a strategic move that can boost your economy and military capabilities. As you can see in these statistics, annexation provides a 25% increase in resource production, contributing to your nation's overall strength. That is 25% more than it originally produced before annexing, massively contributing to your economy. Now you may think that's all, but you can increase the production a lot more. Possibly even get it to produce the same as a homeland city. Here's how. If you combine the annexed city with arms industries and max those arms industries out to level 5, then the resource production will increase 50% more. In total, that is 75% more of production than before. Annexing cities doesn't only help you economically, it can also help you military. By annexing cities, you are allowed to build buildings like military, naval bases, hospitals, you name it. For example, if you want an extra port to produce navy, and then you can annex a naval city and produce navy there. Use this extra annexed city to produce any kind of unit you want. But annexation isn't just about numbers. Consider these key factors. Firstly, annexing cities is relatively expensive, therefore you only want to annex cities that produce the resources you lack or want to increase the production on. Additionally, you don't want to annex cities in early game, since it can waste a lot of your resources and delay your production and research. Therefore, you want to be annexing cities mid-late game. Secondly, annex cities strategically. Focus on annexing cities near your capital. This will increase the morale of the annexed city, leading it to produce even more and not go rogue. It will also make it easier for you to find the cities for you to produce units in. Furthermore, annexing a city near your homeland means you can defend it easier. Also, if it's further away than the enemy, then it won't get invaded as easily. Because if an annexed city is recovered, it won't stay annexed. Even if you were to recover it, you would have to annex it over again. Therefore, ensure the safety of your annexed cities to maintain morale and production. For example, here I am lacking fuel, therefore I want to find a city near my homeland that produces fuel. Here, annexing Bari would be a good annexation. Firstly, because it's near my capital, and secondly, because it is producing a resource I'm lacking. As you can see in these examples, both successful invasions and annexations have the potential to reshape the battlefield in your favor. Invasion and annexation are potent tools at your disposal in Conflict of Nations, WW3. When used strategically, they can elevate your nation's power, bolster your economy, and give you the upper hand on the global stage. Now let's learn about upkeep and population, and how to manage your daily costs and population to maintain a strong economy. Upkeep refers to the daily costs associated with maintaining your nation, including military units, infrastructure, and more. If you don't manage or keep an eye on the daily costs, it could lead to consequences such as having a negative resource supply. This is why sometimes your fuel supply shows in red or has 0 on it. Here are some common expenses you'll encounter. Units, the cost of maintaining troops, tanks, aircraft, and naval vessels. Buildings, expenses related to city development, including buildings like arms industries. Unfortunately, units can drain your resources. Here is an example. If you click on a unit, let's say this infantry, it shows that it has a daily upkeep of 40 supplies, 15 manpower, 15 fuel, and 60. And that's just one unit. Now imagine every unit combined. This is normally the reason of why you sometimes have an amazing territory and resource production, but despite that you still have a low supply of resources. Therefore, you really want to consider the units you are building and not just spam useless units. Now let's talk about buildings. Buildings can both add or subtract to your resources. For example, here as you can see, this military base building has a daily upkeep of 100. This will be subtracted from your daily income. The upkeep of this military base and other buildings all add up as well, and you can find that cost under the resources. It is normally referred to as cities or buildings. However, some buildings can also boost your resources. For example, if we click in this airbase, we can see we get an added 6% production of what that city produces. You can also utilize other buildings such as recruiting offices and hospitals to generate you extra manpower. For example, simply just building a recruiting offices gives you a flat resource bonus of 200 extra manpower. Therefore, some buildings such as naval bases, air bases, and arms industries can actually increase your production. Amazing, now you know how to manage your daily costs and population to maintain a strong economy. Let's now learn about the market and how to buy and sell resources like a professional. Welcome to Market Mastery, where we will learn how to navigate the in-game market effectively to buy and sell resources like a pro. Before we start, let's highlight the incredible benefits of trading resources. It can help you mobilize units quicker, have faster research, and a lot more. For example, if you need to research something quick, but you are missing rare materials, then you can quickly head into the market and buy rare materials and start researching. It is also a great bonus if you have a coalition or allies within the game, which you can trade resources with and help each other's economy. For example, here, as you can see, I'm missing some fuel to be able to build this arm industry. So here I can just head into the market and buy the fuel needed, that way I can level up the arm industry. You can also trade with your allies and help each other as well. Since now that different countries tend to have one resource, they produce lots of amounts from in one which they produce very little amounts of. One example of this would be Spain and India. Spain has a massive production of electronics, but a terrifying low production of supplies. On the other hand, India has the opposite, a high production of supplies, but low production of electronics. In this case, you can maximize your economy by trading. For example, Spain could sell electronics to India, and India can sell supplies to Spain, then none of you would suffer of those resources. Trading resources with your allies and team members can be a game changer. It's a symbol of unity and cooperation that can tilt the scales of victory in your favor. However, it is very important to learn how the market works always. Instead of it being a benefit, it can become a drastic drawback for you. So let's learn how to use the market efficiently. First, let's start with the fundamentals. The in-game market is a bustling hub for trading resources, and it's important to understand its dynamics. In the market, you'll encounter 2 tabs for each resource: buy and sell. Buying resources means using your cash to buy things, and selling means you are selling your resources in order to earn cash. Fortunately, the market has now gotten a lot easier to manage with the new updates. Before it was more complicated and strategic. Now it is easier through. In the market you can choose the price you buy in of the available offers and the price you sell in. Here is an example. If I wanted to buy supplies at the cheapest price, then I will choose the offer at the top. In this case 5 for 21 supplies. Now let's suppose I wanted to buy resources from our ally, then the process will be different. He will have to set an offer up and tell us the price in which he is selling us resources in. Once we know the price for the amount of resources, then we just head to market, then view all offers, find it there and simply take action. Now let's suppose I wanted to sell. To sell I would want to choose a resource, choose how much I want to sell and at which price. A valuable tip here is to put the cheapest price, that way it's more likely to be bought. Another thing to remember is that there are 3 AI offers for each resource at the beginning of the game. And these offers remain constant throughout. You don't need to worry about other players grabbing them, however once you purchase them they won't appear again for you. Now, here's another savvy strategy. If you desperately need a resource, consider placing a buy offer at the maximum price, then the other players in the game would be tempted to sell. This is why you sometimes see some very high offers to buy supplies or components on day one. It is an amazing strategy, and it was even greater before, because before any seller, regardless of their price choice, would automatically sell to you. For example, here it seems I will be struggling with electronics in the long term, so I'm going to set a buy offer. This may affect you short term, but in the long term it helps a lot. Another example would be this. Imagine you need fuel urgently. All you have to do now is set a buy offer for fuel at the maximum price. And as soon as someone lists fuel for sale, it's very likely to be yours. Lastly, keep in mind that the market has its restrictions. You can't buy or sell resources from nations you're currently at war with. Great! Now you know how to manage the market efficiently. You have now become an expert at managing your economy in the game, and now you also know how to build the best economy possible. If this video helped you out, please subscribe so I can make other videos like this. Leave your questions and suggestions in the comments and share your video requests. Your support is greatly appreciated. Good luck!